you produce a bunch of content. How has content production changed for you since AI launched?
So I've used AI to help with content production. It hasn't worked out great. So I tend to do a lot of stuff manually, and I've been enjoying it. I still create content in most cases the same way I did 4 or 5 years ago. There's not much of a difference. Like I set my alarm around 5 a.m. And usually I'm up before then. And I will, crank out a tweet. I'll crank out a LinkedIn post, etc. in the morning. And then we do enough tweets, we do enough LinkedIn posts, we'll see what hits. And then we'll use that to create videos for Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, etc.
Do you, has that approach been the same the whole time?
It's been very similar. Whether it's Twitter or another platform, it's similar concepts. You see what's working based on the day, and then you apply it to the rest.
The content production today is, you say that it's similar, but what people are putting out seems to be very different today than it was 5 years ago.
Yes, so I think similar for me. A lot of people are now putting out regurgitated information that sucks because they're using AI. That's a real problem. You're not going to do well, but everyone thinks, oh, it'll do well. I'm like, well, everyone's already read that 10 times over. So you just pretty much have a new spin on it, and the new spin is just words organized in different ways. With similar concepts, there's nothing new here. Good luck getting traffic and traction.
So what's the key to, as somebody that tests all this stuff, and you started with, I test with text and then produce video content based on what performs with text. What are the elements of something that, structural elements of a video that you think is going to pop?
It's hit or miss. That's a real truth. But structurally, you need a good hook. Can't give the answer right away, and you give the answer at the end. So that way they say engage, right? And you better hope your answer is really good so that way they're not pissed off and they like your video or leave a comment. But that part hasn't changed really, right? It's storytelling, it's marketing, but it is a numbers game. It's a big hit or miss.
What is different?
I would say what's really different in today's world is you got to think really hard on what you can create that stands out. Everything just blends in. You know what they say next year that digital marketing spend is going to be $700 billion. We're seeing too many ads. We're getting ad blindness. We're seeing marketing campaigns just blend in. It's hard for people to do marketing that sticks out. People are getting less loyal to brands. Like, well, I don't get it the same day delivery. I don't get X, Y, and Z. I don't want to buy this. People are having a harder time with marketing in today's world, and it's tougher.
Yeah, no question about it. One of the ways that people seem to be getting exposure, and this has been true forever in different mediums, but I seem to see it more today than ever, is trend chasing. So looking for the topical thing that's happening that day, that week, that month, and just blasting content on it, even if it's not necessarily aligned with your brand. Do you think it makes sense to do that to get attention?
No. I tend to stick with stuff on brand, and that drives to the core business, or else you'll just get followers and no revenue.
Okay, so back to marketing and trends. You played with AI a little bit. There is conversation around search and consequently SEO suffering dramatically as AI takes over. Google losing a foothold if you can talk to ChatGPT or the like. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of marketers are worried that SEO is dead or won't exist anymore. Well, one number tells a different story. $32.78 billion. It's the revenue generated by Google's partner network, AdSense, in 2022. And if you can guess how the sites got their traffic, SEO is a good chunk of it. It's not profitable to grow your AdSense site through paid ads. You have to organically get traffic. And Google knows killing SEO impacts their revenue. They would need time to test and figure out alternative ways to make up that revenue. SEO will change, and some sites will lose traffic from certain queries, but it doesn't mean SEO will disappear. It will just change. Especially with certain queries, Google will struggle with an accurate answer. Just think about a health-related question. They know that AI won't always give the correct result, which could harm people. And removing inaccurate information isn't easy. Just search for anything online. Chances are you'll find pages ranking with inaccurate information. Instead of worrying about SEO dying, focus on an omni-channel approach, because this won't be the last time Google or any platform makes a change that can negatively impact your marketing. I posted on Twitter on Saturday. And the reason I posted that is a lot of people just have this belief that SEO is dying. It's just like, tell Google to erase that $32 billion chunk in revenue. Now, it won't erase fully, but you get the point. It'll go down drastically. Good luck with their stock price in next quarter. It's not going to happen. Does it mean SEO is not going to change? Does it mean that people won't get less traffic? I'm not saying that. Yeah, some people get less traffic, but you just got to adapt. SEO is not just Google. SEO is Bing. SEO is optimizing for Instagram and TikTok. A Google VP said when Gen Z or young people are looking for a place to eat or a restaurant, they're looking first on TikTok and Instagram before they're looking on Google, right? This is from someone who works at Google. You know, you can do SEO if you have an Airbnb company. Let's say you have rentals. Well, when people search on Airbnb, you want to make sure yours ranks at the top. SEO is everywhere. And I think that's where people mess up, and it'll change. That could mean you get less traffic or more traffic, but it doesn't mean that it's going away. And you can't worry about those things. That's why you got to look at all platforms. Facebook's changed algorithms so many times that hurts a lot of marketers. And so does Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, and the list goes on and on. This is just normal.
What are the mechanics? So when you think about scaling with people, how do you do that in a way that's actually clean and repeatable?
Oh, really easy. You hire people who have done it before in your space so you don't have to deal with it. That's how I did it. Hence the $5 million. That's really not the answer that people want to hear, but that's the truth.
Well, so I think that the reason it's not the answer people want to hear is because it doesn't tell the full story, right? So do you look at the going rate in the place that you're trying to hire? Do you go above that rate? Do you buy other agencies? Do you poach people from agencies? How do you find the people that have done it before?
Yeah, we typically poach from other agencies, and we'll offer them a better comp package.
And what's the outreach like? Where do you find them?
LinkedIn.
Just direct messages, connection requests?
Yes.
Love it.
A lot of manual grinding to reach out to these people. Because, like, you know, our CEO ran one of our competitors, and I think there he managed like 4,000 employees or something like that. So I was like, cool. So he's looking like this. He's like, oh, you guys are small. This is a cakewalk.
Got it. I love that. Okay. Well, let's.
And then he was like, oh, you're not publicly traded. I don't have to deal with earnings calls and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, dealing with executives at the parent company, making sure we're doing what we need to hit numbers. And he's like, this is pretty chill. And I was like, sounds good. It's chill for you. Go for it.
Were you the CEO at one point there?
No, I'm never the CEO. I'm a terrible CEO.
Oh,
I'm bad at operations. I'm good at operations with small teams, sub 50. I'm terrible at operations with massive teams.
How did you find out that? So you're not good at operations for the current 700 mark?
No. I've known that for a while. Oh, I've created some.
Find out that you were a bad CEO.
Well, one, I've never been a CEO, but two, I've never been good at operations. Even with some of my older companies, as we've grown them in headcount, I start breaking apart. Not like mental breakdowns or anything. I'm talking about like I'm just not good at dealing with people, problems, scaling, etc. I'm really good in a box. And what I mean by that is like, oh, you want to scale? Let me figure out how to scale on the marketing end. That's what I'm really good at. And that's it. I'm good at business strategy, but what I'm really good at is just scaling on getting traffic, leads, and sales. So amazing. What I know.
And so, which by the way, I think there are kind of two trajectories that entrepreneurs go on. One is they try to get better in general, holistically, and be a better CEO. And the other is that they try to hire out the things that they're not good at. And I see very few people in my ecosystem that really lean into the latter. Most people feel like they're supposed to, as they grow with the company, step into the new role that has presented itself.
I typically believe that the person who takes a company from 1 to 10, which I'm really good at, is not the person to take it from 10 to 100 or 100 to 500, etc.